Hey everybody, long time no talk. My name is Dee, or Investy D here on YouTube. So today I want to talk about something that I'm so passionate about, and that is budgeting. Budgeting, finances, and creating a budget, playing around with my budget, manipulating it, all of that good stuff. So if you want to learn how I do my own personal budgeting so that you can determine if that's something that might be useful for yourself, I suggest that you stick around for the full length of this video, and at the end I'll share with you how you can get a copy of my own budget template if that's something that you want to do for yourself, or how you could potentially hire me so that we can work together to fill your budget out and get you on the right financial track. So to start this off, the reason why I'm creating this video is because I've been hearing a lot in the news about this crazy inflation that's been happening. Rental costs are up, house prices are up, our wages have stayed the same, and everybody's been trying to kind of crunch pennies wherever they can. And what I love about my budget is it truly makes me feel like I'm in control, that I have this insight into how my everyday movements today will impact my budget 6 months from now, a year from now. So while I'm kind of in the day-to-day and things are happening and maybe I'm spending a little bit more money than I should, at least I have the peace of mind of the impact that those changes are going to make a year from now. So it helps me sleep a little bit better at night. And this is coming from somebody who used to stay awake at night thinking about finances, thinking about debt, nightmares about debt. But it's in using these budget techniques that I was able to fully get rid of 100% of my debt. And like I said, have that feeling of control. And that might be something that you're lacking right now, or that you know somebody who might be lacking it right now. So there's a lot of mobile apps that you can download that will help you with budgeting. There's a lot of computer programs that you can install that will help you with your budget. What I've found with those programs and those mobile apps is that they do a really good job of taking your transaction statement and bucketing it into relevant areas. So, this is how much you spend on housing, this is how much you spend on fuel, this is your miscellaneous expenses. So that in a way kind of helps you organize what you're spending your money on. I care less about where my buckets of money is going. I care more about how my financial decisions today will impact my budget a year from now. I want to have insight on the bigger picture versus what my historical spending was or what I'm doing day to day. I just want to know, I want to be able to go to sleep at night and know that my finances are okay if I stay on the same track that I am right now and I make the same amount of money and I spend money the same way. I want to know what that's going to look like a year from now. And what's fun about using Excel as well to do all of this budgeting is that you can make those small changes really quickly on the fly and then see how they make a difference in the long run. So let's jump right into it. Let's show you the budget. You can take a look at it, decide if it's something that you think might be helpful for yourself. And if not, I truly wish you all of the best with your budget in the future. And if you do think it's something that's helpful, again, I'm going to give you a couple options for how you can get your hands on this and get it working for yourself. Okay, so before we jump into all of this, yes, it is on Excel. Yes, you do need to have a little bit of a knowledge on how to use Excel, mostly just basic formulas, adding and minusing. I can also build it in Google Sheets as well, and if you choose to use me to create a budget for you, I will include some instructions for how to use it. So if you don't have any Excel knowledge, not to worry, but you will need to have it installed on your computer, or Google Sheets is free and it's available on the web. So there's two options with that. But jumping into it, so the whole budget is built on this one tab here titled My Budget. And over here in the far left column, we have the dates. So it runs day after day and it will go on for the whole year. Then we have a detail column as well as an amount column. So your detail, it's kind of just like a title, if you will, for whatever transaction is going to take place on that day, and then whatever the amount is. So I've done this 3 times to allot for 3 different transactions, and some days, I mean, let's say, for example, you go shopping at the mall and you spend, you go to like 7 different stores. Maybe you don't want to have it all itemized in here for all the 7 different stores, but what I would do in that case is I would just title mall trip, and then I would do whatever the total amount is for that trip. So let's say it was like $160 that I spent, so I would just add that in there. And then as you can see, that whole formula changes because what I'm doing here is I'm taking your previous day's balance and then I'm minusing anything that comes up during that day. Unless it's a payday. So every 2 weeks, let's say we get paid. So for this formula, we're taking the previous day's amount and we're minusing 2 potential transactions, but we are adding an income right here. So that's going to bring our balance up. So the whole premise behind this budget is really planning out the things that we know are going to happen. So we can forecast certain things. We could say that rent every first day of the month, rent is due, and that's the amount for it. So it's really as simple as just copying and pasting for every day on the first of each month to keep that transaction continuous. Same with the paydays. If we know that that happens every 2 weeks and we kind of have an estimate for the amount that that is going to be, and we can populate that every 2 weeks. A vehicle payment. So if we know that's going to come out every single month, essentially just anything that we do know, grocery bills, we can kind of estimate what that's going to look like, and then leaving some area for some miscellaneous or personal expenses. If you get your nails done every 3 weeks, that's something that we could add in here every 3 weeks. So the idea of doing your budget this way just allows you the flexibility to come in here and say, hey, what would happen if I decided to move out of this rental suite and move into another one, and then that place is actually going to cost me $1,500 a month. Because of the crazy inflation right now, rent has gone up like nuts. So if I go in there and I type in $1,500, and then I can copy the cell and I can carry that all the way down, I get an idea of what this is going to do to my budget and if I'm going to be able to afford that or not. And even if I can afford it, is that something that I really, really want to do? Is that necessary right now? Or would I rather pay down some debt instead? And we can add a little area for that to keep track of how your debt is going to go down over time. But that is truly my goal with this, is just everybody's financial needs are going to be different. So I love building this out in Excel because I am able to highlight those differences, lean into them. I can create a whole new sheet so that I don't have to wreck my current sheet, and I could make this one more of a fun one and be like, you know what? I'm actually going to quit. I'm moving out of the rent. I'm going to buy a camper trailer and I'm going to travel the world. So if I delete all my rent out of here for those certain months and then say add in here like fuel and camping costs instead. And then you budget it all out to be like, you know what, that's going to cost me like $1,000 a month. Same thing. You kind of go through here. You can plot it all out. It doesn't affect your original sheet, but it allows you that flexibility to just kind of play around with it. Again, keeping you in full control so that you know that that's an option, but whether or not you go ahead with it is entirely up to you. So this budget is available in an empty template with some instructions for how you can get it set up for yourself. That is available on my website, so look in the description below of this video and head there if that is something that you're interested in. A secondary option to this would be you giving me all of your information, all of your financial information, and I would love to plunk this all out for you for the whole next year and get you set up and running with it. So 2 different options. One is more of a DIY model. The other one is hands-off, aside from you just delivering your information over to me. So I hope that this video was helpful. Hopefully it gave you a good introduction to what my budget is like and if it would be helpful for you or not. If you have any questions or anything that I left out that you're curious about, please just drop them down below in the comments and I will do my best to get back to each and every one of you. Again, I'm going to link my website in here, so if you do want to grab that template or hire me so that we can work together, I would love the opportunity to talk more. So thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye!